Hi there, in this video we're going to look at subclips. Subclips are a way of taking really long bits of footage, okay, setting in and out points, okay, and then turning that into its own little unique clip, okay, and maybe sticking it into folders so that we can separate all the different bits, all the different characters in our documentary. So instead of just trudging through the long bit of footage, we can spend some time up front, cut the long bit of footage into nice little tidy pre-edits, okay, these little subclips here, and we use this to build our sequence, just small little pieces. It doesn't require you to kind of like render them out as separate pieces. It's just a little way that Premiere Pro lets us cut them into unique, identify little pieces. We get to name them and the original stays perfectly fine. All right, let's learn how to make subclips. All right, to make a subclip, let's bring in something from your co-working folder called subclip01. Okay, and in this case, the way you make subclips is kind of before they get onto the sequence. Okay, so double click it. So it's open in your source monitor, and we can see in here there's kind of like two moves. We've just got a small file here for file size, but let's say there was 10 people going past or lots of different things happening. We want to separate them up. So we want to separate this one and this boy here. Okay, so this first one here kind of starts just before the screen. I'm going to set an in point, scrub along until it's gone, and I'm going to set an out point, which is my I and O keys. Remember the long way is down here. Mark in, mark out. So as long as you got this, then you can just say clip, make subclip, okay? Or you can right click it there and say make subclip. I don't know why I do that. It's the way I do it. Okay, not a great names for all of these. It depends on how hardcore you want to naming these things. I'm going to call this one Bella 01, and it's going to be actually Bella subclip 001. It's going to be fine. This thing is relatively important. Okay, so we'll leave it on for the moment and have a look. So basically all it's done is taken that one source clip, okay, that has both bits. Let's make two of them actually. Let's bring the boy in. He's not part of the interview or documentary, so he's just going to be called boy. And he falls off. Okay, so I've got my in and out point. Again, right click. Let's say make a subclip. This one's called boy. He needs to be boy 1. Who knows how many other boys are going to be in this clip. Okay, so I've broken that one master clip into two. So in terms of your file structure now, we'll create a bin, a folder. Okay, and depending on your project, let's say that I'm going to find lots of different Bellas because I've got lots of B-roll to get through. There's going to be my Bella B-roll, okay, and there's going to be others. And there's my boy clip's going to go in there. Okay, and let's say we have our master clips. And I'm going to pop that one in there. So I don't need that one anymore. I've sliced it out. I can go back to it if I need to. And now I've got my first bit of B-roll for Bella. I'm going to go through lots of other footage, cut it all out, just the bits that have got her in it, so that when I do begin editing, I can start dragging them onto the timeline. Actually, let's do that. Like, these things have a funny icon, but basically they behave exactly like a normal bit of footage. Let's drag it on, cut a sequence from it. You'll notice that it's just this one piece of footage. Okay, and same with, let's have a look at, let's get the sequence out. Okay, this is going to be my interview, and we'll start piecing together our project with all these different edits. Okay, we've only got two at the moment, I understand, but that's how you do it. You separate them out so you've got them as unique little parts. The one thing that I said was reasonably important is, let's say this, our Bella one here, we've trimmed it up and we said something like, don't allow the trim to edit. This is not what it says, but something like that. Watch this. I can't get to that boy. Remember, he's actually part of this clip. Why can't I just drag it out? Okay, so when you do make your first cut, let's open up that master one. Let's say with this boy here, if I say edit, no, clip, and go to make subclip, okay, this bit here, restrict the trims to the subclip boundaries. Just means I can't drag it up. It's forcing it in there. Don't go any further. Okay, you can have that off. I'm going to create a third one here just to show you, and it's of that boy. It means that when I drag this in now, okay, I've got this, I can actually drag it out and adjust it afterwards if I want. It's up to you what you want to do. You can adjust them afterwards. Let's say that you do want to change this now. Okay, so in your subclip, have it selected. Where's Bella? Okay, go to edit, and there's, sorry, clip, and go to edit subclip. And you can say actually restrict trim, turn that off. So now I can go in and drag it out. Up to you how you want to work. I normally just turn it off because I do want that kind of scope. There might be a bit of pre-roll that I need for transitions and stuff. So Up to you, you can turn it on and off. That is creating a subclip. I'll show you maybe a bigger for instance, just because I've got some big files on my machine. You don't have this one here, I'm just gonna drag it in. It's the interview with some of the parents from the girls. Okay, and this is what, 15 minutes, not super long, but you can see there's lots of questions being answered and responses. Okay, so what I can do is I can go find all the breaks. Let's say this first part is, I know not an actual question, it gets into there.
They're both fun.
Okay, you spend more time figuring out where the beginning of the dialogue is. You set your endpoint, you go along. I often use the waveform to kind of at least get me close to it.
And then you grab.
There we go. Let's say that's the out point, so out point, so I and O. Let's turn that into a subclip. Okay, make subclip, and that is my interview 01. Okay, I got my first one, and then I just keep working my way through, okay, and deciding which bits to cut out. They get into this big monkey thing going on. I want to get rid of that, in and out. I go in and check it. Okay, spend more time doing that. Make another subclip. Okay, and I can chop this big long interview into all these different parts. Make a bin for it, call it interview. Okay, I'm gonna get it out. That's one thing. Sometimes it can be hard to like get this out. If you've got folders and subfolders, you're like, come out, why aren't you coming out? Is just to click, hold, and just drag it to the left to this kind of no man's land, and it will come out. And there are my two interview parts. Okay, and then where is my Bella? Where's my original one? Didn't actually import it. That's interesting. Because I dragged it, you didn't see that. I just dragged it straight from here into my source window and then started chopping it up. It didn't actually import the original, which is useful to know. Okay, so it didn't import it into my project. If I do want the original there, I'm gonna have to go, you put it in my master, just so I've got it. Okay, you can obviously skip that step by dragging it straight into your source monitor and then start carving out all the subclips. Just know the original didn't come along. Yeah, keep this tidy and I'll keep the original in there so that it can be found later on. You go to where you need to be. I can't even remember which one that is. Get myself lost. But that's it. You've got some masters that you slice all up into subclips, put them into groups to make your project a lot easier when it comes to putting it together here in the sequence. All right, that is subclips. I'll see you in the next video.